Ladies and gentlemen, Rwandans, I send you my greetings. Again, my name is Michael Mupende, and today I want to take you into a deep and honest analysis of what is commonly presented as Rwanda's historical narrative, or more precisely, Kagame's historical narrative. Fellow Rwandans, especially the youth, this conversation matters. I am here to correct historical accounts that have been deliberately distorted by the Rwandan government under Kagame today to suit his political interests. In constructing and reinforcing these distortions, President Kagame has consistently relied on one General Kabarebe as a central voice and instrument. This brings us to a critical question that cannot be avoided. Why has President Kagame depended so heavily on Kabarebe to promote a version of history that portrays Kagame as the sole commander who rescued a failing war, the exceptional leader who succeeded where others supposedly failed, and the singular genius behind Rwanda's military victory, post-war governance, and even the so-called economic miracles? According to this narrative, following the death of General Fred Gisarwejema, Kagame single-handedly reorganized the struggle and led it to victory. Yet the history record shows something very different. The command structures were already in place. Military strategies, political organization, that is the RPF, and operational planning existed well before Kagame's coming to RPF. He joined us later. He was not meant to be part of this. We counted Kagame when he was present. When he was not part of RPF. I always say this. So, where was he coming back from? From his betrayal. The war was not a blank slate waiting for one man. It was a collective struggle involving many leaders, fighters, politicians, alliances, and circumstances that shaped this war. To sustain the myth of indispensability, area commanders are portrayed as failures. Those of Rwigema, Bunyenyezi, Bayingana, all those who followed the Kabarebe's speeches, they are considered as failures, total failures, and undisciplined, incompetent, and lacking vision. Not until Kagame's arrival that the war progressed, according to Kagame and Kabarebe. But other setbacks were largely as a result of Major Paul Kagame's betrayal in a bid of taking over the RPF leadership. More so, we had material shortages. There were regional geopolitics that were into playing, and complex constraints, but not leadership failure. Discrediting those commanders serves as a clear purpose. It erases alternative leadership and concentrates historical credit in the hands of one man, Paul Kagame. Crazy, isn't it? From there, military victory is presented as proof of exceptional intellect and unmatched leadership by Kagame. In reality, the outcomes in our war, RPF war, was shaped by a collective action, regional dynamics, shifting alliances, and historical contingency. By reducing these complexities to personal brilliance, a multifaceted struggle is transformed into a personal triumph story. It's wrong. This war narrative is then extended beyond the battlefield. Kagame's wartime role is used to justify post-1994 governance, development claims, and prolonged rule, as though military command automatically translates into democratic legitimacy or moral authority. The myth of liberation becomes the foundation for political permanence. Most troubling is what happens to those who question this version of history. Legitimacy or legitimate historical inquiry is reframed as a threat to unity, peace, and national cohesion. Debate becomes disloyalty, and evidence becomes subversion. In this environment, history is no longer studied, but rather guarded. Within this system, James Kabarebe does not function as an independent historian or neutral witness. He serves as a custodian of an official memory, one carefully maintained to protect political legitimacy rather than historical truth. The pattern is unmistakable. Complexity is simplified. Collective struggle is converted into personalized heroism. National tragedy is repurposed as political justification, and inquiry itself is treated as treason. Bottom line is this: when control of power depends on myth, history must be managed, but not examined. And when history is controlled, legitimacy is no longer earned. It's rather imposed. This has been Michael Mopende. This discussion is part of an ongoing series dedicated to correcting, reclaiming, and restoring our true history. Thank you for listening. Until the next episode, take care.